Okay, so it is finally fall. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you today. It is the last weekend of September 2020. So we obviously did not start here. Let's rewind the clock a little bit and bring you back to the beginning of the weekend. It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful day today. We should be under 100 from here on out, which means we have a whole lot to do. So chores changed a little bit. Lori's working a little bit on the chickens, but we've switched a lot of it to the evenings because it's actually pretty nice out here in the evening. And last week, you guys are actually going to be watching the videos today, or the video today, where we planted out these garden beds back here. So those are our fall beds. We planted those out, got the dirt in, planted 3 of them out last weekend, and I need to water those here this morning. When I'm done, I need to show you something. We planted these out last Sunday. So the seeds are daikon radish. We have black radish in here. Martin, thank you for that black radish. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And we also have some white clover in here. About 3 days in, so probably about Wednesday or so, we started seeing some green, which is really exciting. And I'm gonna see if I can get enough of it on camera here. It's early, the sun's not up yet. Might be kind of hard to see, but I'm hoping you can pick this up. So that would be the black radish that Martin, one of you guys out there, sent us. Really appreciate that. Those are coming up in rows, so we know those are those black radish seeds. That's really, really exciting to see that. And I know that we have the daikon coming up, the black radish coming up, so the radishes are doing well. And then just yesterday, I started seeing some smaller first leaves coming out, and I'm assuming those are probably the white clover. I hope they are, to get that nitrogen fixation in this bed as well. But the minors are doing really good. They're starting to come up. Really excited to see that. So I'm gonna head over. I need to see how Lori's doing with the chickens. I do have to stir some compost. So we do actually have some work to get done, but we've got a big, big day today because we've got a pasture to plant out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and help out Lori get these chicken chores knocked out, because you guys are actually gonna be with us kind of prepping today for that pasture plant. Chicken chores done. Chickens, by the way, are doing fantastic. No fights and squabbles. Everybody's pretty much found their place in the pecking order. So, wow. Beautiful sunrise. It's gonna still be warm today, but it's nice and cool right now. So behind me, you can see we've got the pasture there, which we will be planting today. We're very excited about that. So obviously we're gonna do a video on the planting, go over details on that. But what we need to do right now is we have potted trees in there that we need to get out of there, including a moringa that needs to be up potted. So we got a couple things we need to do. We're gonna bring you guys along with us here today to kind of get prepped for that pasture install. We're gonna get one more look at the pasture here before it's actually a pasture. So we are really excited because it's planting season. It's kind of hard for us to contain it. It's all we talk about right now. So what we have over here is we have all of the potted trees that we've just been watering on top of these wood chips here at the back of the pasture. Now we do have plans for some bush type, hopefully fruiting trees to be here in front of the coop and run area for the chickens to eventually shade that. So this first part, maybe for the first 5 feet from it, will wind up being wood chips as opposed to pasture. So we are going to do that, but we do not want to have these potted trees here because we won't be able to really put a lot of traffic across the pasture, at least for the next month to 2 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all these potted trees here, you'll see those. several of which we're going to be planting. Well, really all of them are going to be planting here over the next few months. But we're going to take these and move them over to the berry area, so where we have our mulberries and the blackberry beds. So Lori and I have a hand truck and a cart. We're going to go ahead and get these moved out of our way for today. We had a couple of trees that were definitely growing roots down into this soil that we're creating with these wood chips, but what I wanted to show you is this moringa. So we talked about this one before, but I basically pulled this one up by the roots and thought we killed it, and we definitely didn't. Basically healing those roots back down into these wood chips worked. She's still alive, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and up pot her, because we're not gonna plant this tree right now. We're hopeful that we can get moringa. We've got a plan for moringa, and if we can get this one through the winter, then this one will join her sisters. But what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get this one up out of the ground again, and then quickly get her over to where she's gonna be and into her new home. We did lose its primary root, which it was pretty dry, so I don't think it was using this particular tap root to root down into those wood chips after we had pulled it up. But you'll get an idea of our temporary little area here for our nursery. So we have a couple of different types of fruit trees and berries in here that we actually are going to be planting. So we're going to do that another day. It's not today. But before Lori and I get to work on the pasture, I wanted to show you this. So we had planted some acorn squash and some zucchini here in this particular berry bed. You guys will recognize that. It's got all of our sweet potatoes in it. And what I want to show you is actually those acorn squash. Acorn squash coming up really good. The zucchini, not so much. So I don't know what's going on with that. Those are the seeds that we saved, I don't know, it was last year or something. So Lori and I are really excited, and we get to start the pasture today. You guys won't be seeing that here today, but we will have it up for you hopefully next week, because we have a whole lot of planting to do besides that. But Lori and I are gonna go ahead and get to work and get this pasture seeded. It took us all morning, but we got the pasture seeded, so we're excited about that. Only problem was the sprinklers that we got from Amazon. Both of them were defective, so a little frustrated with that. But our son is actually coming over with his girl Nikki tonight. I talked to him and he was gracious enough to stop by Home Depot. So hopefully we'll get at least something in place until we can get something else ordered from Amazon and use those as a backup. But it is hot, hot, hot outside, and we need to eat some lunch. There's one other thing I need to show you guys outside before we call it for our outside chores for today. So Lori and I, we stay busy during the week. We work actually off the farm, and in the evenings we try to get some work done. We'll give you guys a glance at the pasture right there. That's about all you're gonna get. So what we do is we try to get tasks accomplished during the week so that we don't have to try to get them done on the weekends. You can kind of see behind me here as I walk a little bit further. We're up at the front of the property, and this is where we're gonna have basically all of our citrus trees eventually. And behind me, what we were working on this week is we were hand trenching these lines, if you can see those back there. But hand trenching these two lines, and we were extending the irrigation for the citrus. We had space for 2 more trees, and we put in some more additional irrigation. You'll see right down there. Hopefully you can see it good on camera. But we added enough space, or added 2 more spots for trees. So we decided we've got one variety of fruit tree in particular that we want to add up here along with citrus. That is an evergreen, and the best time of year to plant it is actually fall. So it's this month. We decided instead of having 2 varieties, we want to have 4. So hopefully we'll be able to get 4 different varieties for that. But what I wanted to talk to you about really quick is the importance of, you know, skills. And there's things that I'm still trying to learn, especially being on a farm. Like a tractor would be a good example. I didn't know how to drive a tractor, and still not, you know, 100% proficient, but a lot better at it. And obviously, you know, we know how to grow certain things, but not everything. You know, we're not experts by any means. But one of the ones that I really think is important for you here in Arizona, especially if you're going to do fruit trees or gardening, is learning some basic irrigation. Lori helped us this round with putting irrigation in. I've been doing irrigation on our own properties for probably the last 15 years. And if nothing else, get the basics down so that you can do repairs, or like we wanted to do this extension, I didn't need to call anybody. But I think that's one that's really critical. We share a lot of it here on this channel, so we try to share, you know, how we do the irrigation and give you some of the steps. We didn't have time to show you on this one, but I think it's really important that we learn some of these hard skills in order to do some of these things on the property. So Lori and I, we unfortunately, because the sprinklers aren't working and we don't have the ones that our son hopefully is bringing us, we need to water this pasture by hand because it needs to be damp all the time in order for these seeds to germinate. So Lori and I are gonna get wet over here, water this pasture in, and then hopefully get in for a shower. Got some things we need to take care of inside the house before Austin and Nikki get here. One of the things that we really like to do this time of year is get fermenting done, specifically winemaking. We only have a couple ones actually left from the old farm. You'll see down on the ground back there, that would actually be our Thompson grapes. So our last year's Thompson grape harvest that we froze, and that one's gonna make a beautiful, beautiful white wine. So Lori and I have that we're gonna get to work on here before the kiddos show up. And then we do actually have a project we need to get done tonight with those garden beds that have the radishes coming up. We're waiting for the kiddos to get here, and we've got about 20 turkey vultures that are sitting out at the far water tank. It's just incredible. They're here every single night. They all roost back here in the large wash that's a couple hundred yards east of us here. So we're just assuming that it's some type of mating season or something. But I want to show you really quick. I got some good footage of these with the other camera just last night. So you can see those things just crowd around this water and are just hitting it hard. So anyway, we're gonna sit here, watch these. Hopefully they're still here when the kids get here. Really cool to see. The sun just went down. You can see back there, that sunset just went down. So got done with evening chores, which include watering. Finally, a little bit of green in that vineyard orchard. That's nice to see. So we do actually have a project. We've got Lori, who burned her hand tonight on a cast iron skillet. Pulled that out of the oven and just grabbed it with her bare hand. Not sure how that happens, but unfortunately she's one-handed right now. She'll be fine. But we got Austin grabbing the tractor because we've got a project to work on. So not me on a tractor for once.
Yeah, I guess I've never looked at your belly.
This morning I showed you the radishes that we have growing, doing really well. Now we already watched some of our local quail go ahead and try to jump up on there, and we know they will devour those things. So what we're gonna do while it's nice and cool and the sun is down and we have some help is we're gonna go ahead and get some bricks from over here in the corner. Austin's loading those up now. And we're gonna cut some bird netting. Now we do have several things coming in. We are gonna cover those. We'll cover those in another episode. In fact, we plan on doing that next weekend. So we'll have that here in a couple weeks for you guys and show you how we're gonna cover these. But until then, we need a temporary solution because we got those radishes growing and we weren't expecting it. So I'm gonna go over and help Austin get some bricks, get some bird netting, and we're gonna go ahead and get these temporarily covered so we don't lose all of our radishes. Got team effort, got that done. So now I think we're gonna be okay. Should have our radishes survive the onslaught of quail and other miscellaneous birds. So beautiful evening tonight, can already tell. It's still warm, but it's definitely fall. So that's gonna do it for today. We'll come back to you tomorrow. Okay, so here we are Sunday morning. We actually just got done with not our first chore of the morning, but we needed to get those trenches buried. I think I've got some footage of us actually putting the irrigation in. I want to show that to you guys real quick. So we did that on Friday night after we got home. So Lori, I think I mentioned it yesterday, but she burned her hand on some cast iron, and she's doing okay today, but hand's still a little bit sore, which is going to put a kibosh on a few of the projects we had planned for today. But I do need to go back. You see a pasture back there, watering that this morning. We'll water that a couple times a day here, try to keep it moist. But so I talked to Lori, and we're gonna test her hand out a little bit. We do have some more soil right behind me here. You'll see that. That is for the 6 remaining beds. Those are actually our spring garden beds, at least that's the plan. So we're gonna see if we can get a few more of those filled while it's nice and cool this morning. I do need to check out, we did get a couple of wood chip deliveries. We would need some for that. I need to work on that a little bit as well. And we're gonna try to wrap it up early this morning if we can after that long day yesterday. Hopefully you can see that we got these 3 beds done. Definitely starting to warm up, and it's definitely breakfast time, but I wanted to kind of show you these 3 beds. So these 3 beds here are actually spring beds. We put a little more in the way of wood chips here. The goal, I think, for us is to keep these nice and wet, keep the moisture level nice and high, allow these wood chips and some leaves and things like that to break down and actually start creating soil. So we're gonna do that. We're about 75% of the way done. Flip around this way, you can see the 3 beds that still are not completed. So what I'm gonna do, I need to go back and clean up the wood chip deliveries from this week, and I'm gonna go ahead and take you with me. So I'm not sure if you can make it out, but we got, looks like we got 5 deliveries today. You can see how they're kind of spread out on the ground. So what I do is I pile them up. A lot of this is some larger material, so I want to make sure that it has a chance to compost down a bit. There's a better view. So I know I probably tell you this every week, but it's just the reality of things. I come back here, they make deliveries, which is fantastic. I come back and just kind of push them up with the tractor and make sure that they're gonna start composting down. So tractor work time, and then I think that may do it for today. Another busy weekend for Lori and I. Definitely warming up here already on Sunday. We're gonna call it a little bit early today and head back into the house. We got plenty to do in there still. I think the biggest thing right now is just the excitement that Lori and I have for fall and the planting that's gonna be happening here in the fall. Obviously, we also have livestock coming back on. Pigs are gonna be at the end of October. Chickens will be right after that, our broiler chickens. You know, they got the pasture in place for them, so excited about that. Just a whole lot going on. And then, man, the planting, I said it before, but planting. We've got fruit trees to plant, we've got a garden to plant, we got all kinds of stuff that's gonna be going into the ground here. Really excited about that. One thing I can tell you, it's really, really warm today, but one thing we know about fall is it will cool down, but here on the farm, it is just starting to heat up. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. Our Amazon shop, will leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with that link, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. Also, our Healthy Farm Living channel, if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link down in the description as well. that is the channel that we just started. It goes over all the things that we do inside and around the farmhouse to remain healthy, because our goal here is that everything on the farm is as healthy as it possibly can be. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you.